2022 organized by Messi Frankfurt in India Expo Mart, Greater Noida. And we have with us Mr. Raj Manek, the Managing Director of Messi Frankfurt and the organizer of this mega expo. And today we'll talk to him about his expo and his perspective of the physical ad industry. Welcome to 10 News.
Thank you very much.
So first, I want to begin by asking you, what are your views of this expo that you have organized, and can you throw some light on the visitors and the exhibitors' profile?
Sure, yeah, this Expo now is in its coming up to the 49th edition here, so we're going to celebrate the 50th edition. Media Expo has been running since 2003 from its inception. It deals with the outdoor, indoor advertising space, also everything that goes with that advertising space, the inks, the flex, everything that makes up anything that we put any advertising on. And of course for India, very, very, very important.
Definitely. And moving on, I want to ask you that talking about the pandemic, the last 2 years, so how has it disrupted this industry and shaped this industry, and what kind of new trends and technology can the business visitors here expect to see?
So pandemic, of course, did disrupt this industry, especially those in the business of the outdoor advertising, because suddenly we were in lockdowns. People were not, our eyes were not on billboards.
Yeah.
So that area, the OHH area, was highly impacted over these 2 years of pandemic. But they've come back stronger. And all the other aspects of this business, the guys who are making the inks, the guys who are still printing, the guys who are still creating the flex, that carried on reasonably well. They had some reasonable business all throughout the pandemic, but it was really the ones who owned the space outside where people said, "Oh, who is out there to look at my advertising?" But they have come back extremely strongly following the pandemic. So the industry is booming. They've come back in a big way. It's growing. The show shows me that we have a fantastic 132 exhibitors here, of which 17% are new exhibitors, so new participants. You only get that when you know that there's a future and a growth in this market.
Definitely, sir,
Yeah.
definitely. And taking this conversation further, I want to ask you, in the present times, the digital space and specifically the digital ad space has grown exponentially, as well as the digital ad spend. So, how has it affected the physical ad space and the industry?
Of course, it has. It's grown and it's become very, very important now. But I think it's the industry has adapted. So rather than affected it, it's adapted. So the digital was coming. If you look at now, when I'm driving along in Mumbai or I'm driving along in Delhi, the number of billboards I see which are digital and rotating and turning, airports are a very good example of this. So the industry has adapted and taken on technology, taken on the innovation. But we talk about Delhi, Mumbai, or Bangalore, or Hyderabad, but these are tier 1 cities. The rest of India is very, very big. Our tier 2, tier 3 cities are still highly, highly dependent on traditional advertising. It is not going to go away today, tomorrow. So it is a very important aspect, and it is across the entire country we are talking about. We are not talking about the metro cities. The metro cities are still doing digital as well as traditional, but the traditional is not going to disappear from our country. And so in that respect, the business is still strong, the business is still growing, the traditional has a place in the market, but the digital is, of course, the new trend, and that will grow for sure, 100%, but it won't take away the traditional area.
Definitely, sir, and I truly agree with you, because I've seen businesses, yes, they have increased their digital ad spend, but they have not lost their belief in the physical ads as well, and their belief is not yet to be
Diminished.
Yes,
Yes,
definitely.
I agree. Yeah.
And lastly, I want to ask you, what is your future outlook, future prospects of the physical ad industry?
I think the physical ad industry, look, is going to go through a change, and physical ads. But I think in a country like India, it's a very, very important part. You have to look at the cultural way people behave, and in India, the physical ad, the piece of paper, what they see is so important to them. Yeah. Even though people are on all the social media, people have become much more tech savvy, especially after the 2 years of the pandemic. Even the older generation have become tech savvy. But I think there's culturally, this is a country where they like to sit down and still look at a physical ad in a paper, look at a physical ad in a magazine, but also they want to see their Bollywood stars stuck up on a flex counter. And I think, so in that respect, India will evolve and change. But with the demographics of the country, the size of the country, I think there will always be a space for the traditional ad here for still a long time to come.
Definitely, sir. And I totally agree with him because presently, when we talk about the physical ad industry, it is changing shapes. It is going through an evolution.
Evolution, yes.
Not getting rid of it.
No.
We have a long way from there. I think. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it is because of the size of the country, and it is because of the vast demographics that exist across the span of the country. So I can if I judged everything just sitting in Mumbai or Delhi, then my show with the traditional aspect would not be here. Yeah, because I would have thought, oh my God, India is changing, but India is not changing. Some metros are changing.
Yeah.
Many parts of India are still the same and are going to remain the same for many, many years to come, and they need it. And that traditional part is a very, very important part of getting a message across to many, many millions of people who otherwise have no other way of getting this message.
Totally. Because India does not encompass only the metro cities, but also the grassroots level India where physical ads are growing exponentially.
Exponentially, absolutely.
Definitely. And thank you so much, sir, for talking to us.
No.
It was a pleasure.
And my pleasure too. Thank you very much.
I'm Shelly Agarwal and you're watching 10 News.